Jonathan here, and tonight I'm going to do something I've never done before, and that is a cyclocross race. Right now I'm on my way to the Folsom Rodeo Cross event. It's a fall-time series that they hold every Wednesday night for about 6 or 8 weeks. I have never done one before. I've heard about it, people say it's a ton of fun, so I figured tonight would be a good night to go and find out for myself. So quick bike check here. I've got my Santa Cruz Nomad. Just put on these brand new Maxxis Rambler tires in size 38. Don't expect the course to be too technical because it's at a park, but I guess you never know what to expect. Group-wise, I'm running my Ultegra with a compact front, and then rear is an XTR 1140. Really don't expect too much climbing either to need that low gear, but you know what they say, spin to win. So no expectations. I'm gonna do men's C class tonight just to keep it safe, keep it fun. Don't know if it's gonna end up in a sprint finish or I'm just gonna end up dead last. So with that said, I'm gonna head out. Wish me luck.
All right, with that, on the whistle, you're ready to go? I think Logan's sandbagging. Let's go, AJ.
So right off the bat, I'm guessing this is the Logan guy the announcer was talking about, because he took off fast from the start. And he's riding a cross-country hardtail, and I'm already now wishing that I had been on a mountain bike instead of this gravel bike with skinny little tires, because these corners are really, really dusty and loose. So right now, my strategy, if I have any, is just to stay up towards the front, not all the way in the front, to where I'm going to put out too much effort and end up having to recover for the whole rest of the race, but also not too far back to where I don't get caught behind other riders and making it difficult to pass more people to get up toward the front. Little slip there. And went around him in this wide open straightaway. Right here coming up, get to witness my terrible cyclocross dismount. Came to a near full stop, picked the bike up, walked so slowly around the corner. Bike's in the wrong gear, so I have to shift down. Wishing I had flat pedals. In fact, on my warm-up lap, I actually fell over, just trying to make it around that simple little obstacle. Of course, it had to be in front of the whole audience, all the girls watching. So that was pretty embarrassing, so I tried not to do that during the race run. Little hill here. Overall, the course, each lap was about 8 minutes. Not very much climbing, maybe 100 feet per lap, if that. Right now we're entering my favorite part of the course. It's a bit of a makeshift trail through the park, and it's cool because they've strung out all these lights. You can hear the music, you can hear the spectators cheering, and I know that there's a beer hand up somewhere in this area. This was my very first time trying these Maxxis Rambler tires, or any gravel tire for that matter, so I didn't know what to expect in terms of the ride, in terms of traction and braking control. but my friend recommended 35 psi in the front and back, so that's what I did. And it felt okay, a little bit bouncy, more bouncy in the back than I would like, but it could also have just been my riding technique and not being familiar with riding this Stigmata off-road. But if I were to do it again and the course was the same, I'd probably drop it down a little bit just because it would give me a little more compliance, and I didn't see anything that would really risk giving me a pinch flat like I always get on the mountain bikes. I knew the curb would have a lot of traction compared to this gravel road right out of that loose corner, so rode that as long as I could and got ahead of these two people, which was good because I knew the other guys were right behind me and it would create a little space between them and myself.
If I do this for 40 minutes, that's way too long. Only 5 minutes in. On your left. On your left.
Bike is sounding pretty awful right now. It must be cross-chaining because I can hear the grinding on the inner cassette, but I think I was too lazy or too tired at this point to trim the front derailleur over.
Catch up to you. Feel like a mouse in a maze right now. Just a couple more beat women to catch up to you.
All these tight 180 corners were a little tough because there's no bank to them at all. Just completely flat, dusty and loose. They haven't been watered for a bit. So you have to be really careful to judge your entrance speed, get on the brakes just enough to not skid out, and then pedal like crazy to get out of it. So that's the first lap of the course done. So right now I'll just flip through and fast forward to all the parts that were more interesting. Pretty much it stays like this for another two and a half laps.
On your left. On your left.
Looks like I'm catching up to my coworker Bill here. Neither of us have done this before, so it's fun to see him out.
Hey man. Hey man.
So now we're at the beginning of the last lap, and again I get hung up on the dismount section. I actually had a pretty decent lead on the guy behind me, but just coming to a near stop, getting around the barrier too slow, wrong gear, taking too long to clip in, he's able to get around me. So now I'm fighting to get back into my position, using up a bunch of energy to sprint out here. So it doesn't take too long after that sprint that I'm gassed and these guys get around me. So I'm going to try and hang on through the wood section. Right now it looks like I was only able to catch up and get back on their wheel because they've come across another group. So when you're leading, you don't want to catch other people because it slows you down like this, but when you're in the back like I am, it allows me to jump back on their wheel, which is good, and get a little break.
Are you C's or B's?
So I managed to get around that guy on the inside corner there. Had to ask him what category he was in because I didn't get a look at the field when we took off. So I didn't know whether I needed to keep the pace up or if I could just let him go by if he comes around me again at some point. I guess next time I'll take a better look at the field. So I was behind this guy trying to pass him for a really long time. And then I knew once we got onto the pavement, that's where I had a bit of an advantage with the skinnier tires and a little bit faster bike. Of course, aero wheels don't hurt.
Single speed? Yep.
There I am again, what a dork. Asking people what category in, because maybe that was all for nothing if there's a single speed category. I'm rolling into the finish here, and I didn't manage to get it on video, but after I passed the guy on the single speed, a rider on a blue gravel bike was able to get around me, and I just couldn't match the effort, so it looks like it's going to be a second place for me in my very first cross event, which I'm happy with. So overall, it was a successful event. Good turnout, a lot of people racing, a lot of people spectating. Everyone seemed to be having a really good time. So I found out that the men's A race would be starting in about 15 minutes, and I figured why not see how long I could hang in that group. So these are the guys that are really serious about cross racing. I'm guessing they live for fall season to do this. I just wanted to see how quick they were, and turns out they're really quick. After doing the C race, I knew that I couldn't hang with these guys for long, so I just kind of sat on a wheel as long as I could. Didn't take long for them to drop me, of course, but I just wanted to have a fun last lap to see how the pace felt. So no surprise, I've been completely dropped at this point, but I'm just having a good time riding this course line by all these lakes. Really fun, and I'm looking forward to when daylight savings time hits, so that way the sea riders can experience it too. Alright, that's it guys.